always respected my elders, even as a niglet. Even when there was a lot of situations I didn't know what happened in the past, while I was born or before I was born, that made me be born into inheriting beef. And the elders not speaking to me because of what others have done in the past. That's part of me. So it's what made room for me to go around and check brothers like Dr. Ben, people in that nature. You dig? Appreciating meeting the brother Khalid Muhammad with Doggy Diamonds at the same time on Clinton and Fulton Street. You dig? And the things that he said to that man at the 24-hour window. You know? I had that on my old channel. I'll repeat that conversation one day. It's magnifying. Guarantee you that. It's the main thing that I build about. Which is why I don't go on lives, chats, and things of that nature. Because soon as you disagree with something, play a mature game, you don't know the person that's in there. And might agree with you. But just the way you go at the person that's in the chat room will make room for it to be whatever y'all thinking is trolling and things of that nature. Now, I don't never troll. Because I'll let you know I'm in the building, who I am, where I'm from. Alright? Got nothing to hide. I'm not that goody two-shoe facade having, yo, I'm this, that, and the third, and I want all. Nah. When I was doing all that, trying to build on everybody getting along, unifying, and things of that nature, like I said, it'd be surrounded by people that's like, yo, I don't got nothing to do. We getting money. It goes, you know what I'm talking about? Respectfully. So, after years of going through that, while still seeking knowledge, going through these books, going from the lessons to Dr. York, to even debating with the elders, you know what I mean? Talking about how Martin Luther King was soft. They didn't realize I was wrong, you know, because it take a lot of strength to even be standing out there doing all that. But now it went from that to me building on that, saying the strength that man had and the movement had to people talking about what he stuck his dingling in. And see, that's the problem that we have and where we dropped the ball, where my pops was right. You did? Because we still worried about what people was doing in their ulterior motives. But then we pick and choose when we want to do that. Again, an example, you got the leader of the movement, right? You know, the nation. And they say, yo, you can't talk about that. But then you talk about MLK and his transgressions that's supposed to have been so-called recorded by the alphabets. You dig? What made room for that was the fact that this man's a Muslim, so he can have multiple, while this man's a Christian, so he's supposed to only have one. You dig? But what that has to do with the purpose of what the speech was about and all that other stuff. You dig? I ain't with dreams. I don't dream. I deal with reality. You dig? So that's one thing that I still stand on with that. You dig? But what about who I made songs with? Big. It was his whole first hit. It was all a dream. And that's when we'll break down to you how they're going to try to make Biggie the MLK and Tupac the Malcolm X of hip-hop. I already said it, and I'm going to say it again. So y'all grasp and embrace that. Because that's the reality they're going to try to implant in your children to erase the work that they've done. And we helping them. Because we too busy trying to erase what they done. We're not building off the work they did. We're building like what they did on the side. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, okay, I got a good job working on Wall Street, but I got kilos on the low. What am I kilos for? Especially when you cop sometimes. And this is what I'm talking about. It's damn near worse than buyer's remorse. Niggas that have been part of the game know they was out here fucking up too. But now they want to play this goody two-shoe role. Because they don't do that no more. And salute to the ones that do grow. Because that's what made me be out the game 28 years. It's like, I'm not going to do the same thing here. You dig? At 10 that I was doing at 20. You dig? Be doing at 30. No. It's called growth. You dig again? That's for their own life to see. There's some people that's not getting out of none of that. We in jail together. You're like, yo, son, as soon as I touch the time, yo, I'm going to get assignment, going to get this break. I ain't never looking back. And it was a man on his word. Even with going back to jail. What am I? They're knocking up a man's determination or whatever they see in life. You dig? But on a bigger level, we waste time. So maybe keep it watered down with battle rap. Things of that nature. You dig? Like, it was something that I already do. And whatever is going on is going to deal with the bars. It almost started going into the so-called Remy and Pap scenarios and Clarissa having more, the most to lose and things of that nature. You know, but that's still being in other people's personal life. So I just stick with the bars and left it at that. You dig? Y'all do what it do. Get your hustle on. Because that's what I was taught in the long run. That a lot of this stuff was hustle. For them to get extra box or whatever they could that they couldn't just do. Being on the block. Being a regular guy. Getting a regular job. Or hugging the block. Doing what it do. Or being absolutely nothing. And still get more in the working nigga. Know what I'm talking about? Take a shorty right up top to Pebble Beach. And that's what goes on. You dig? But in life, we got people that think because you was born before the next person, you dig? That person might not have went through some that you might wish you never went through. You dig? It ain't about making room or not making room for it to happen to you. You was too young, even though it was going to happen. It happened. You dig? And what their growth is from that. You dig? So, when you got people who you see, and I admitted how old I was, you dig? If I see somebody in their 20s and their 30s right now, this is their prime time. What am I to interrupt somebody else's prime time when they the ones going through it? This they lingo, this they slang, this they sound, and this they thing. Even with me creating the sound. But this is they wave and they time. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of y'all elders. The Al Sharptons, the Charles Barretts, the Charles Rangles, rest in peace. You dig? Still my OGs, but I didn't see y'all pass no torch to anybody who's under you when MLK did that Montgomery bus boycott at the age of 26. Right or right. So you can say whatever you want to say out your mouth, and we could go and keep wasting time on what somebody did on the side, whatever that is. Like, it's like a family secret. Why we keep putting this stuff on blast to other people that don't give a fuck about neither one of us? That part. And see, that's what made me a brother like Pharaoh OG. You dig? And I don't ever want to be in a position like that. You dig? So I gracefully bow out. What? Respect my elders, because a lot of the stuff you were saying was right. You dig? Just that you got to know when you're building, you was 51 once. You started seeking this knowledge probably in your teens, just like I was in my teens. Knowing that something wasn't right by the time I was 10 years old, with all that Christopher Columbus, Christmas addicts, all that other, you know what I'm talking about? So while we think we're going in different directions, All those veins part of the same body. And that's where we got to grow up. That's what made me a leader for a long time. That's what made room for me to be able to clean up the street, bark on 70 niggas at one time. They could have whooped my ass, wore my ass out. You know what I'm talking about? And when they did nothing about it. It's my son's family. It's his group. It's his gang. You understand? In the state era. You dig? Me? When I see something, I go straight at it. Okay, how many of y'all out there? Yeah, whip my ass. But I did that. Street clean. Street y'all clean. I hear y'all talking about other people that did certain things. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody gonna be the biggest or the best in the world. You dig? Certain things gonna be looked at different when you physically see what I was supposed to be the growth and no progress, like Omar Johnson. I just see what's going on, and you worried about these children, but we see your daughter going through that on there. You dig? Sad. So I don't talk about stuff like that because that's real personal for a family to do whatever they do, go through it, get through it, and pull back together. You dig? Well, I have made mistakes myself, just building in even whatever they quote as a cry for help. No, I just had that thing called "Don't forget where you come from" when I feel that you should do for those that do for you. The same way, you know? And that's just it. I stand on that till the day I go on the ground. Period. Because while all that other clown stuff going around and y'all grow then fall out, you go right back to the same one you kicked off. Y'all be good to each other, man. I'm straighter than 6 o'clock. I'm going to continue my roasting session with the battle rappers and all that. 9 o'clock news is still going to be depressing. Ain't nothing going to change about that because feelings don't change facts. And that's another part. You heard all that stuff about Brother Love, right? He home. I see him coming out the joint. Well, everybody quiet as a church mouse now. Seemed like the only one talking now was the same one talking then. Salute to Gene Deal. Y'all be good to each other. Stay up. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's gloomy out there. I don't know why. You know what I'm talking about? But, like OG, my big cousin Tad, say, it's going to be better days ahead.